one of the most beautiful things that comes from forgiveness comes, coming from you recognizing your life situation, and though it may seem like an impossible situation or a trap, the beautiful thing about forgiveness is you can look at all that and forgive it, see the ego construct for the falseness that it is, and realize that it's already there. You're you're powerless over this construct that has formed over the many years, but you can look at it through the eyes of forgiveness, seeing the false as false and accepting it and turning it and transforming it into something beautiful. But you could only do that by disarming it from the ego. So first you have to recognize that this situation is a setup from the ego to distract you from who you are as the Christ nature. And the Christ nature in a lot of ways is I don't want to say enlightenment, but in a way that you go about yourself that allows you to come from a place of heaven, basically. But most of the times the situation that we're in has so many different spawning webs that want to take you out from this realization, and it's an ego ploy. That's why I say expose the matrix. Well, your whole life situation is the matrix. So, but you can become the Neo by forgiving it and understanding it, and then working with it, and not necessarily changing the situation, but changing the way you look at it can totally bring you into a new world. The Course in Miracles calls it the happy dream. So we could see the false as false, whatever that thing may be, that relationship, the job, the priority, the stress. When you start seeing through the eyes of forgiveness, which is my goal, see through the eyes of forgiveness that I can accept all things are as perfect just the way they are. Seek not to change the world, but to change how you look at it. Now we get to walk in this heaven. So I was just thinking about that because, I experienced that, and I'm sure everybody has that. This feeling where they can't get out of, that they can't change the way they feel unless they change the situation. And that your unhappiness is from an outside source, but it all comes back to you and the way you perceive. So if you could get that, you could change it, and you could feel happier more of the time because you could see it as a loose garment, and move in lightness. So hope that made sense. All right, have a good one.